When life breaks you, it feels like the ground beneath your feet has vanished, and every ounce of strength you thought you had is stripped away. You wonder how you got here, how everything that once seemed certain now lies in ruins. It's the kind of pain that leaves you questioning not only your circumstances, but yourself. Life, at some point or another, tests everyone. It doesn't ask for permission, and it doesn't give warnings. The storm arrives, shattering dreams, crushing your spirit, and leaving behind pieces too small to recognize. In these moments, it's easy to feel like there's no way forward. But the truth is, it's not over, even when it feels like it is. You might be broken, but broken doesn't mean finished. In fact, it's in these very moments of collapse that the foundation for your comeback is laid. Pain changes you. It shapes you in ways comfort never could. When life breaks you, it strips away all the superficial layers and leaves you with the raw, unfiltered version of who you are. You meet the real you, not the one who posts smiling pictures, not the one who wears a mask of strength to the world, but the one who stares at the ceiling at 3 a.m. wondering if any of this will ever make sense. And that's where the transformation begins. Because from that point forward, every step you take toward healing is a step toward a stronger, wiser, more resilient version of yourself. The broken pieces of you are not useless. They are the blueprint for your next chapter. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you're standing amidst the rubble of your life. People will tell you to stay positive, to keep going, and that things will get better. But words don't always comfort when the weight of your struggles feels unbearable. What you need to realize is that it's okay to not be okay for a while. It's okay to grieve, to feel the pain, to cry if you must. Healing isn't about ignoring the hurt, it's about learning to live through it. You don't have to rebuild yourself overnight. You only need to take one step today, and if you can't, take a breath. Sometimes survival is progress. There will be days when you feel like giving up, days when it seems easier to stay down than to try again. But giving up is not the end of your story. The human spirit is built to endure, and you have a strength inside you that you haven't even begun to tap into yet. Every setback, every heartbreak, every betrayal is teaching you something, even if the lessons are hard to understand right now. When life breaks you, it forces you to grow in ways you never imagined possible. You start to see yourself differently, not as someone who needs to be perfect, but as someone who is powerful because of their imperfections. Strength isn't about never falling. Strength is about getting back up, no matter how many times you hit the ground. It's about standing tall with the scars that tell your story. The beauty of being broken is that you get to rebuild yourself the way you want to. You don't have to be who you were before life knocked you down. You get to be someone new, someone who knows what it's like to be in the dark and still choose to fight for the light. The cracks in your heart are not signs of weakness. They are reminders that you survived. And surviving means you still have something left to give, something worth fighting for. You may not feel strong right now, and that's okay. Strength isn't something you wake up with, it's something you earn through the struggle. It's in the moments when you want to quit but don't. It's in the nights when the tears fall, but you still wake up the next day and try again. You don't have to win every battle. You just have to keep showing up, because every time you show up, you send a message to the universe that you are not defeated. Every step, no matter how small, is progress. When life breaks you, it's not the end. It's a beginning that looks messy and painful and uncertain, but a beginning nonetheless. Your story isn't finished yet. This chapter you're in right now, it's not the last one. It's just the storm before the sunrise. And when that sun rises, you will see that the pain didn't destroy you, it transformed you. You will realize that everything you thought was lost has made room for something new, something better. You will rise, not in spite of the pain, but because of it. So don't let this brokenness define you. Let it refine you. Let it shape you into someone who knows that life's toughest moments are also life's greatest teachers. Let it mold you into someone who understands that it's not the easy days that make you strong, but the hard ones. And when the day comes, and it will come when you stand tall again, you'll look back at this moment and realize that being broken was not the end. It was the turning point. It was the moment you discovered what you were truly made of. Life will break you, yes, but it will not break you beyond repair. There's always a way forward, even if you can't see it right now. Hold on, keep moving, and trust that one day, the pieces will come together in a way more beautiful than you ever imagined. You are not broken. You are becoming. And becoming is the most powerful thing you can ever do. You are becoming someone stronger, someone wiser, and someone who understands the depths of resilience not because life was kind, but because life demanded it. Growth isn't born from comfort, it's forged in fire. And that fire will leave marks on you. But those marks aren't there to shame you. They are there to remind you that you fought your way through battles others will never see. And you came out on the other side, not the same, but better. There's beauty in that transformation, even if it doesn't feel beautiful right now. The process of rebuilding yourself won't be linear. Some days, you'll feel like you're making progress, and other days it will feel like you're right back where you started. And that's okay. Healing is messy, unpredictable, and often 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But what matters is that you keep moving, even if it's at a crawl. You weren't meant to stay broken. Your story is not meant to end in defeat. There is always more for you, even when it feels impossible to see beyond the pain. The hardest part about being broken is trusting that joy will find you again. After heartbreak or failure, it's easy to believe that happiness belongs to someone else, that you were simply meant to endure the suffering without ever knowing peace. But that's a lie the pain tells you. The truth is, joy still waits for you, but you have to be patient enough to find it. You won't feel like this forever. The storm you're in will pass, even if it feels endless. And when it does, you'll realize that the cracks in you allowed the light to enter in ways it never could before. And here's another truth. Being broken gives you a gift that few people appreciate at first: a sense of empathy. Once you've been shattered, you begin to see the world differently. You understand the struggles behind someone else's smile, the battles fought in silence, and the courage it takes just to get through the day. Your own experience with pain will make you kinder, softer in the right places, and stronger where it matters most. That compassion isn't a weakness, it's your superpower. It's what makes you human, what connects you to others who are also fighting unseen battles. The people around you may not understand what you're going through. Some might leave, some might disappoint you. But understand this, not everyone is meant to walk the entire journey with you. And that's okay too. The ones who truly belong in your life will see your brokenness, not as a burden, but as a testament to your strength. They'll stand beside you, not out of pity, but out of respect for the warrior you are becoming. And those who don't, let them go. Their exit is making room for new people, for new connections, for relationships built on a foundation of mutual growth and understanding. Life will never be perfect, but perfection isn't the goal. The goal is to live fully, to show up for yourself even when it feels like the world is falling apart, to rise even when your legs shake beneath you, to smile again, not because everything is perfect, but because you've learned that peace is something you can create even in the middle of chaos. You don't have to wait for the storm to end before you start living again. You can build a life right here, in the middle of the mess, because you are stronger than the storm. The most important thing to remember is that you are not alone. Every human being, at some point, will face their own version of rock bottom. And while your pain is unique, the experience of struggle is universal. You are part of a greater story, one of survival, growth, and transformation. Every scar you carry is proof that you are still here, still fighting, still trying. And that is enough. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to have everything figured out. Just take the next breath, the next step, and trust that the road will reveal itself as you go. Your story matters. Your pain matters. But more than that, your healing matters. One day, the very things that broke you will become the foundation upon which you stand tall. You will look back at this time not as the moment you were destroyed, but as the moment you began to rise. You will see that life breaking you was not a curse. It was an invitation to step into a version of yourself that you never knew existed. And when you finally step into that light, you'll understand that the cracks didn't break you. They made you whole. You'll realize that what felt like the end was only the beginning of a new chapter, one where your strength is unshakable, your heart beats with purpose, and your spirit is untethered by fear. This version of you, born from the struggle, will carry a wisdom that no book can teach, no easy path can provide. You've earned every ounce of your resilience, not through luck or shortcuts, but through perseverance when everything seemed lost. And that is something no one can take from you. The future ahead may still be unclear, and life will continue to have its challenges. But this time, you'll face those challenges differently. You'll carry within you the knowledge that even at your lowest, you found a way through. You'll understand that life's blows, no matter how heavy, don't have the power to define you unless you let them. And you won't let them, not now, not ever. Because now you know the secret. The power was always inside you. The strength you were searching for wasn't waiting somewhere outside. It was in every tear, every sleepless night, every moment you chose to hold on just a little longer. The person you are becoming isn't perfect, and they don't need to be. Perfect doesn't exist, and chasing it will only lead to more emptiness. Instead, you are becoming whole, a person who embraces both the light and the dark, the victories and the failures. You'll understand that it's okay to carry scars, both seen and unseen, because those scars are the evidence of a life lived fully. They tell the story of someone who didn't just survive, but who grew, who thrived, and who learned how to turn pain into purpose. When life breaks you, it also rebuilds you in ways you could never have imagined. It clears away the things that no longer serve you, forcing you to confront the truth of who you are and what truly matters. You'll stop wasting time chasing validation from others. Stop seeking approval to feel worthy. You'll realize that the only validation you ever needed was your own. The only approval that matters is the kind that comes from looking in the mirror and knowing you gave life everything you had, even when it gave you nothing in return. There will come a day when the things that once haunted you, the heartbreaks, the failures, the moments of doubt, will no longer have power over you. They'll still be part of your story, but they won't control the narrative. You'll look at them with gratitude, not regret, because they shaped you into the person you were always meant to become. Every loss, every disappointment, every time life brought you to your knees, it all served a purpose. You didn't just make it through, you transformed. And that transformation is your greatest victory. Your journey is far from over. There are still dreams to chase, battles to fight, and mountains to climb. But now you know something that you didn't know before. You are unbreakable. Not because life won't try to break you again, but because even when it does, you will rise. You have become the kind of person who doesn't fear the storm, but stands tall in the middle of it, knowing that you are stronger than anything life can throw your way. So, when life breaks you, remember this. It's not the end. It's a rebirth. It's a chance to redefine who you are and what you stand for. It's an opportunity to rise from the ashes, not as the person you once were, but as someone entirely new, someone unstoppable. And when the world sees you standing there, with all your scars, they won't see someone who was broken. They'll see someone who was made whole, piece by piece, through the fire of life itself. You are not your failures. You are not your heartbreaks. You are not the mistakes you made or the moments you fell short. You are the person who kept going, who kept believing, even when it seemed impossible. And that person can overcome anything. Life may break you, but it will never defeat you, not if you choose to rise again and again, no matter how many times it knocks you down. And that is the essence of true power. You are not just a survivor. You are a warrior, and your greatest victories are still ahead. Your greatest victories are still ahead because every breath you take is a new opportunity. No matter how shattered things feel now, every sunrise brings with it the chance to rebuild. You've seen darkness, but now you carry a light within you that no storm can extinguish. You know what it means to stumble, to crawl, and to rise each time stronger, more determined. And now, you also know that the journey isn't just about reaching some distant goal. It's about who you become along the way. There's power in embracing the uncertainty of life. You may not know what tomorrow holds, but you do know one thing. You will show up. No matter how daunting the path, no matter how heavy the burden, you will keep walking. And even if you falter, you'll remind yourself that every step forward counts, no matter how small. Progress isn't always visible, but it's happening beneath the surface every time you choose not to quit. That's the magic of resilience moment by moment. It builds you from the inside out, until one day you wake up and realize the storm no longer scares you. You've become the storm. You'll also learn that healing isn't about going back to who you used to be. The truth is, you're not meant to be that person anymore. Life's trials change us, and that's not something to mourn, it's something to celebrate. The parts of you that feel lost are not gone. They've evolved into something greater. You may carry wounds, but they are proof that you dared to live, dared to love, and dared to try. And that in itself is a victory. As you move forward, you'll discover that the real power lies not in controlling life's events, but in mastering how you respond to them. Life will continue to throw challenges your way, but now you've learned that setbacks are not the end of the road. They are detours, sometimes painful, sometimes confusing, but always guiding you toward growth. The beauty of these detours is that they often lead to places you never imagined. You'll find new dreams, new passions, and new strength that you didn't know you possessed. The destination may change, but the journey is yours to own. And along the way, you'll inspire others without even realizing it. People will see your scars and recognize their own struggles reflected in you. Your story of rising from the ashes will become a beacon for someone still lost in the dark. And that is one of the most profound gifts life can offer: the ability to turn your pain into someone else's hope. You won't just be surviving for yourself, you'll be lighting the way for others, showing them that brokenness isn't the end. It's just a part of the process, and on the other side of it is a strength they never thought possible. In time, the things you once feared will no longer have power over you. Fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of not being enough, those fears lose their grip when you realize you've already faced the worst and survived. You will no longer live waiting for life to be perfect, because you'll understand that perfection is an illusion. The mess, the struggle, the imperfections, that's where life is truly lived. You will find joy, not in the absence of hardship, but in the moments you rise above it. And joy will return, make no mistake. It will sneak up on you in unexpected ways, in a laugh with a friend, in the peace of a quiet morning, or in the simple realization that you made it through another day. Joy doesn't always come with fanfare. Sometimes it's the softest moments that remind you of how far you've come. And when it does arrive, you'll welcome it, not with desperation, but with gratitude. Because you'll know it's not fleeting, it's yours, earned through every struggle, every tear, and every moment you refuse to give up. The road ahead won't be easy, but it doesn't need to be. You are prepared. You've walked through fire and emerged tempered, like steel forged in the heat of battle. And now, no matter what life throws at you, you know you have what it takes to rise. You are no longer the person who feared being broken, because you've seen firsthand that broken things can still be beautiful. In fact, they often shine the brightest. So keep going, keep believing, keep becoming. Your story is still unfolding, and the best chapters are yet to be written. You've come too far to stop now. Life didn't break you, it built you. And now, armed with the lessons you've learned and the strength you've gained, you are ready to face whatever comes next. Not just as someone who survived, but as someone who has truly lived. And that is the ultimate victory. And that is the ultimate victory, knowing that you are not just a product of your circumstances, but of your choices. Every time you chose to rise, every time you chose to try again, you rewrote your story. Life didn't break you, it awakened you. It stripped away the illusions, forcing you to see your true power. You no longer rely on the approval of others, the comfort of easy paths, or the fleeting validation of temporary success. You've discovered that everything you need was inside you all along. Courage, patience, love, and a will that refuses to be extinguished. Now, you walk differently, not arrogantly, but with quiet confidence. Not because you expect life to be easy from here on, but because you know it doesn't have to be. You've made peace with the fact that storms will come and go, but you'll stand firm through every one of them. You become a person who understands that setbacks are not failures, but invitations to grow. Losses don't break you, they shape you. And every moment of pain has only added to the depth of who you are, making you someone with both strength and grace. There is something unshakable about a person who has faced life's darkest moments and chosen to rise anyway. That's you now. You understand that life's hardships don't diminish your worth, they reveal it. You are more than your mistakes, more than your losses, and more than the moments that didn't go your way. You are a masterpiece still in progress, evolving with every breath, becoming with every step. And the best part? There is no finish line to this journey. Every day offers a new opportunity to grow, to learn, and to live more fully than the day before. You will still have moments when doubt creeps in, when fear whispers in your ear, trying to convince you that you're not enough. But now, those voices don't control you. You've been through too much to let fear dictate your life. You'll recognize those moments for what they are: temporary tests, not permanent truths. You'll pause, gather your strength, and move forward, knowing that even on the hardest days, progress is still progress. Even when you stumble, falling is not failing. It's just a part of the climb. And through it all, you'll learn to love yourself, not in a way that seeks perfection, but in a way that embraces your flaws, your scars, and your story. Self-love becomes a quiet promise that no matter what life throws at you, you'll stand by yourself as your own ally. You'll stop looking outward for the love you thought you needed and realize that the greatest love story of all is the one you build with yourself. That's when everything changes. Because once you love and believe in yourself, there's nothing the world can do to break you again. From this place of inner strength, your dreams will begin to bloom once more. The dreams that once felt distant or impossible will start to take shape. Not because life suddenly became easier, but because you are now equipped to pursue them without fear. You no longer wait for the perfect conditions or the right moment, you create them. You take action, trusting yourself enough to know that even if things don't go according to plan, you'll figure it out. You've proven that you can rise from failure, and now you're ready to succeed without fear of falling again. And when life throws challenges your way, you'll face them differently. You won't crumble under pressure because now you know that pressure is how diamonds are formed. You won't fear rejection because you've realized rejection is simply redirection towards something better. And you won't be paralyzed by uncertainty because you've learned that some of the best things in life come from the unknown. You've become someone who thrives in the in-between, who finds peace in the chaos, and who builds a life not in spite of the challenges, but because of them. The road ahead is yours to travel, and the person you are becoming is powerful beyond measure. You no longer wait for permission to live boldly, you give yourself permission. You are free from the chains of your past, free from the need to be perfect, free from the fear of what others think. And that freedom is priceless. It allows you to take risks, to chase your dreams unapologetically, and to live a life that is true to you. Your scars? They are badges of honor, reminders that you didn't just survive, you transformed. And the life you are building now, with all its ups and downs, is a life rooted in authenticity. It's a life where every step forward, no matter how small, is celebrated. It's a life where setbacks are no longer feared but embraced, because you know they are part of the process. You've become someone who no longer dreads the unknown, but welcomes it, knowing that every twist and turn on this journey holds the potential for growth. And so, you keep moving forward not because you have all the answers, but because you trust yourself enough to find them along the way. You walk this path with a heart full of courage, knowing that life will still bring challenges, but also knowing that you are ready. You are not the same person who was once broken. You are stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Life didn't break you, it built you into the person you were always meant to become. And now, with every step you take, you move closer to the life you deserve. A life that isn't defined by the pain of the past, but by the hope of the future. A life where you no longer fear the storms, because you've realized that you are the storm. And that, right there, is your ultimate power.